Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, Coogan Cassius, and some very special guests. Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
you get up, you dress up, and you fucking show up.
This is COLM McGuigan for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined by Wade Plem. Wade, first of all, let's talk about this event.
Yeah.
You're a part of it.
Yeah.
How happy are you to be a part of this?
Dude, I can't tell you enough. I'm ecstatic. It just, the energy on Wednesday of fight week just is through the roof. These open workouts, when they truly are open to the public, they're different, man. It's not a media workout where it's all quiet. Guys are just trying to hit the pads quietly so they don't make too much noise. This was the noise. Nate Diaz brought the noise. Came in here, didn't even work out, and had the crowd at a fever pitch. One of the kids was like, "Wade, sign my forehead." I don't know, I've never done that. And I was like, sure, dude, whatever. Throwing pins everywhere, BMF belt getting tossed into the ring. It was wild, man. I'm blessed and happy to be here.
How do you think this main event ends in terms of Jake Paul and Nate Diaz? Obviously, Nate has no boxing experience, but he's not someone that's ever been knocked out. Jake said he's going to knock him out. What do you make of that?
So, like, when we say no boxing experience, you're right and you're wrong, because Nate has years and years and years of sparring with some of the best guys in the world, to be honest with you. Like, Andre Ward spars are not just tippy-tap, hey, you're the MMA guy coming in to work with me. No, he was trying to hurt him in those spars. And again, it's not under the lights. It's not in the main event. But Nate's also done that in an even tougher sport. Yes, boxing fans, I said it, MMA, it's a tougher sport. But it is what it is, man. I think that Nate is going to be thriving in this moment. It's just going to have to come down to how much can he prepare in a short amount of time for a specific rule set.
What do you make of the leaked messages that Jake says aren't true from Shane Mosley to Dylan Dennis?
I just saw Shane a second ago, and it's starting to become like one of those things that, one, does it even, I don't mean to curse here, but does it even fucking matter at this point? Like, it's 3 years ago. I wish it didn't come out like a lot of people did, or I wish, not even that it didn't come out, I wish it wasn't said, or if it was or wasn't, was it leaked, is it fake? It doesn't matter, dude. I'm sure they've handled it off camera, and that's the most important thing. Team morale, camaraderie, this moment is so much bigger than any kind of bullshit that went on back then. And again, I don't think it really set, I know people were like, oh, he's ducking now, and I know how it's going to come out. Wade, Dick Ryder Wade, you know, that's how it's going to be. But honestly, you can't convince me after the Ben Askren fight that Jake took easy fights. And these are tough fights he's been taking. So I don't really put any stock into it, especially for this one. Like, people are like, oh, he should have he went from Nate Diaz, or he went from Tommy Fury to Nate Diaz. Who should he have fought? Is he going to go up in competition after fighting Tommy? He can't fight Tommy again because he's fighting KSI. Like, who should he have fought? I don't really know who else you can name, but yeah, man, I don't think there's much stock in it right now.
If you know, that leads me on to my next question. If he does get the win on Saturday night against Nate Diaz, who does he face next?
Well, that would be the Tommy fight, right? I assume. Like, if it's me personally, I would like to see Jake and KSI. Get it done, man. Avengers Endgame, the influencer boxing peak. But just from being around Jake in the very small, limited time and hearing from people in his camp, it seems like they want that Tommy fight back. And that seems like what he's going to do. If he wins and Tommy wins, it seems like that's what they want to do.
Do you think that can end differently?
It's going to be, you know what? I'll say this. Let's see how he looks. Let's see how he looks on Saturday. Let's see if there's any improvements. Granted, it's not Tommy he's facing, so there's going to be more avenues, in my opinion, for Jake to be successful. But let's just see. If Jake has improved a little bit of his volume punching, his defense isn't just high guard, staying on the ropes. There's a little bit more footwork, a little bit more high volume pressure on offense too. Maybe, but let's see.
I caught up with you before Misfits 008.
Yeah.
We didn't get speaking after. What did you think of that event and the success of the Survivor tag? Do you think it was successful?
I mean, they were doomed. Mams Taylor said it. They were doomed from the beginning, from all the pullouts, so you can't really blame them, right? They were trying to make something happen, and I'm critical of those guys, but I do it to try to make the influencer boxing scene better. Like, the small council is one of the best ideas I think they could have done, and I told Mams that. The idea itself didn't necessarily play out, I think, the way they wanted. So, no, it wasn't as successful as it could have been. Me personally, I don't like to see it in a main event spot. I think that should be reserved for big-time stars and people you want to build in a one-on-one matchup. But they did what they could. They brought a card to my home state of Tennessee, and I can't thank them enough for that. So, Misfits, appreciate you for the card, man. Mams, great job trying to save what was pretty much a doomed event.
Last one from me. Spence Crawford at the weekend. What did you make of that?
Who thought that was happening? And people are going to go, yeah, you know, I thought Crawford was winning. It was Crawford the whole time. You didn't think that was going to happen. Drop Spence in 2 with the 2-1. and then puts him down 2 more times, 3 times, or the first 3 times Errol Spence has ever touched the canvas. It's crazy to see the levels on top of high level. Like, that was the highest level, and then Crawford went, yeah, real cool. I'm up here, dude. So, yeah, it was amazing to see. Who knows what's next, man? There's so many opportunities, and he just became a massive superstar. So, Terrence Crawford is going to the moon.
Would you want to see the rematch?
No, not right now. Not as quickly as these things usually happen, 6 to 8 months. I don't think that's something that a lot of people, I mean, it was just a dominating fight. Give me a couple fights, then yeah, for sure. But when you have that much of a one-sided performance, I don't see the point right now. Let him go to 54, you know? Let him do that. He was talking to Jermell during the fight, being like, yo, you're next, bro, jumping up on the ropes. We'll see what happens with, Jermell and Canelo, but
How do you think that goes?
again, I have no idea. Like, Jermell is taking it on super short notice, so you have to think Canelo is just going to dog him out here, but Jermell's not Jermall, right? So this is a tough fight. When you step in with him, he's become what he thinks is more of a power puncher, which is something I don't think a lot of people are seeing. He looks at himself as more of a power puncher, kind of like Canelo does, even at 68. When both guys made a name for themselves being slick, being the boxing savants that they are. So I want to see him get back to that, but if I'm picking, it's got to be Canelo right now, but I don't mean it's going to be the case. We know boxing and MMA and combat sports are always relative, man.
Wade, thank you very much for your time, mate. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, bro.
Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, Kugan Cassius, and some very special guests. Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher, and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
You get up, you dress up, and you fucking show up.